truck collection that I am ever going to see. He's a great guy, thank you. Longest bolt in the Soviet Union. Now these are the tools I need, so enjoy. Hello everyone, this is Alex. And today we were presented with an amazing opportunity to finally do some work inside a real garage. When you're used to seeing me on a field, well, today is going to be a bit more different. So follow me inside, let's see what we have there. So say hello to the new KamAZ, another 6x6 joining our channel. This one was sold at an auction and it was standing just before this garage when it was sold. So when we won the auction, we came here, we talked to the owner of the garage and he happily allowed us to use this truck lift to do some work on it. So I couldn't resist. So thank you very much, Kaspar, and let's see how it goes here. So what is the plan for today? First of all, we're changing the engine oil. Then we're moving on to the gearbox, the transfer case, and the free axles of the KamAZ. In total, we will be using up about 60 liters of oil today, or maybe even more. Let's see how it goes. Now let's lift up this truck to get better access to everything under it. Okay. I would like to welcome you under the KamAZ. The engine oil has already been drained on this one, and here is the oil cap. There is still some oil in here, and it looks quite dirty, so an engine oil change is definitely in order today. And now we're going to put the old, like the oil cap, we're putting it back in place. And then we're going to move on to the oil filters. We're going to remove the oil filter, we're going to remove the oil filters and replace them with new ones. So let's see how it goes. Let's remove the oil filter casings. Now first this one you open up, then all the old engine oil will drain from here, and then it will be easier to open it later. Because in this filter there is about 1 liter of oil. And now we're going to open what I like to say, the longest bolt in the Soviet Union. And that opened up much easier than expected. Finally. It's hammer time. And there we go. This is the old oil filter. Man, this one is really dirty this time. Compared to the fire truck that we did before, this one seems a lot more dirtier. Let's remove the second one as well, and then I'm going to show you what's inside here. It looks very bad. And now to the second one, same thing. I think we can close this one up. Okay, so let's open up the second one as well. My biggest fear when opening these is that something breaks. And you know, it's not that easy to find parts for the KamAZ here now. But so far, so good. How long can one bolt be? My hands are completely dead by now. Well, I guess, you know, it is what it is. Well, I guess that's one way to do it. Well, it didn't break, so that's fine. Well, let's get this one cleaned up a bit, and then we will move on. Now, just as soon as I got my hands oily, look what showed up. This is probably the largest KamAZ model truck collection that I am ever going to see. There are numerous different versions over here. There are so many different details on each truck that I don't even know where to begin. And all of these trucks belong to Martin. Martin is also a fan of the channel, and I'm really happy that he is here today showing us what he has. And now take a closer look. It's fantastic. And it also makes me want one. But I know I have checked online auctions as well. They are quite expensive, but they are also very, very cool. Especially now that I am seeing them in real life as well. Okay, now we have cleaned up the mess a bit. Now it's time to look into the oil filters, because as you saw earlier, some debris started coming out of it. And now, when you take a closer look, you can see that there is some dirt deposits on the wall. But luckily, the oil filter has done its job, and it has gathered all of the dirt on the bottom, exactly as it should do. So now, let's take it out. I'm going to show you. This is like very thick, heavy oil inside here. It looks almost as jelly. Wait for it. You see? So we have cleaned the oil filter casings. They are looking much better compared to what they were before. So now what we have to do is change the gaskets that go on top of them. They're located up over there. And after that is done, over here. And after that is done, then we can finally move on to putting in the new oil filters and putting also in the new engine oil. And then we're moving on to the other parts of this truck. This one is actually looking quite okay, but still, you know, since we have it open, it's always better to change them. So let's get the second one out as well. Okay, so now we need the new gaskets. Have them over here. They even have the Russian markings on them, so it's the original product. that was much easier than expected. Usually it takes me a lot longer to get them in place. Well, that was quite successful. So now let's clean it from the inside also a bit, and then we can put in the new filters. I think that's good enough for Soviet standards. So let's get the new oil filter. So here are the new oil filters. They're looking much better than the old ones. So let's get them in. They are exactly the same. So this one should fit. Oh, there is some kind of a rubber here. Glad I saw that now. I didn't see it earlier. So let's try again. So the hosts have been very generous with us. We have been working for some time under the KamAZ now, and now we are being treated to a little meal over here. So we will get done with that, and then we will move on to the KamAZ. So enjoy. Whew. My hands are quite tired now. For some reason, when we did the oil change on the fire truck, the oil filter, these casings, it wasn't that difficult to put them back in place because there is a spring in there that always pushes against you, and that spring fixes the oil filter casing later. But right now, it makes it quite difficult to put it in place, but we're managing quite okay right now. So just a few more turns and then it will be in place. And it's always important to check that the filter, this casing goes into place correctly, because it can be a bit tilted, and then the gasket that's on top, it's not going to hold the oil back, and oil will start dripping from the casing from the top. But right now, I think it's looking quite okay. Great. I think we're done over here with the oil filters, and now let's try to check the centrifugal filter. But before we can move to that, there is a little issue that we cannot lift the cabin, but let me show you. On this KamAZ, to lift the cabin, there is a hydraulic cylinder over here. And you need to, the cabin lifts hydraulically, but right now it is not connected to a pump, and we need to connect these hoses to a pump over here, and once that is connected, then we can tilt the cabin downwards and we can check the centrifugal oil filter. And the reason that I have these hoses right now is that the host of this garage, I didn't have a hose for this one, so he got me these hoses and the adapters that would fit perfectly right into this Russian pump. So big thanks to him again for helping me out here. So now let's see if we can tighten them up. And to be honest, I don't know which one goes where, so I guess we'll just see if we got it together right or not. It seems that the hand pump is finally working. We needed to add some oil into it. So let's see if we can finally lift the cabin now. This is the first time that I'm actually seeing what's happening under the bonnet on this one. So I know there is another hook somewhere. Yes, this one. And now it's finally going to rise. And again, this is the first time that I'm seeing under the engine bay of this KamAZ, so let's lift it up. I'm afraid that's as far as it will go, because there's probably not enough oil here, but let's keep trying. Now we have finally lifted the cabin. It's time to check what's going on in the centrifugal oil filter. It's probably going to be quite messy, but let's see. Now these are the tools I need right now to open the centrifugal oil filter. It's right here as usual, and it's already looking quite dirty. You know, it's not the worst, but it's also not the best. But let's get this one cleaned. This is what the inside of the centrifugal filter is looking like. It has thick stuff on the walls. So our job now is to get rid of that. So we have cleaned the inside of the centrifugal filter. It's not as clean as I would like it to be, but we will leave it like that for now, and we will put it back together. Centrifugal filter is back in place, nice and clean. Now let's check the fuel filters as well. And you can see from the bottom that it has had some water in it. That's why the tip is corroded. Okay, so let's try to get it open. That's one. And that's two. And there you go. So this is the fuel filter. Completely very, very rusty. So these definitely need to be cleaned and changed. Luckily we have them with us. So we have cleaned one of the fuel filters over here. This filter is clean now, or cleaned. And on the right is what it looked like before. So the filters were really, really dirty on this one. And you know, I think this is what happens when a truck has been standing for almost 10 years. So let's get this one cleaned as well, and then we can put the filters back on. And now everything is cleaned up. We have the new fuel filters over here. Gaskets for the fuel filters. Here they are. So let's open it up. And let's get the filters installed. So this goes in the bottom. Now the filter. Now this one goes on top. And the sandwich is ready to be put back on. So, oh, now one more thing. So out with the old. Great. Okay, so now I think it's time to pour in the engine oil and let's see if it fires up or not. It's getting quite late already and I can feel that my voice is also not what it was before. So let's get the new oil in. And now we're at the final stages. To the most important part, let's put in the new engine oil. And 30 liters goes into the KamAZ. I'm not going to show you everything, how I pour it in. But it's going to take some time now. Now that we have added the new engine oil, let's also see what the old air filter is doing. And here it is. It's not the worst, but you know, it is also not the best. Now compare it to the new one. So we're putting the new one in, and this one is again going to the trash. So I'm afraid this is where we're going to have to end for the day. It's been a long day. We changed the engine oil, we changed the oil filters. While we were doing that, another one of the fans showed up. They showed us their truck model collection of the different KamAZs. It was beautiful, and I have never seen anything like that before. Also, I am really grateful to the owner of this workshop, Kaspar, who allowed us to use the truck lift, helped us while we were here, and also even brought us food and so on. So he's a great guy. Thank you. We also changed the air filter, the fuel filters. We wanted to also change the gearbox oil, the transfer case oil, oil in the axles. But you know what? It's been a long day. We're not going to be doing that today. And sadly, we were not able to start up the KamAZ. The batteries are completely dead. And since the KamAZ engine is a V8 11-liter diesel engine, it needs a lot of power to start it up. So charging them now, we're going to have to charge them for a long time before we can finally start it up. But until next time, let me know what you like the most about this video. Let me know what else you would like to see on my channel. Subscribe, like, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.